Man, listen, folks. Shit. And I mean, damn. Carmelo Anthony is officially cooked, deep fried, overdone, crispy. You know when you burn the rice and the bottom has that layer of burn? Sometimes you eat it. He's the bottom layer of that rice, cooked, burnt. It's fucked, bro. For Carmelo Anthony, I should say. Listen, I have never, and I mean, I've covered a lot of trials on this channel. I don't think I've ever seen a jury that doesn't have a single black person on it. I feel like that's new to me. I even was going through the internet. I was like, maybe this is something that tends to happen. I thought it was supposed to be a jury of your peers, right? I thought it was supposed to be a percentage of what the people in the community are. So if it's mainly white, you get mainly white, and some black, you get some black. If it's mainly Asian, you get mainly. I thought it worked that way, but apparently, folks, we went through jury selection. Carmelo Anthony has no black people on the jury. That's number one. Cooked, right? Number two, we have damning witness statements coming out to where everything is pointing to Carmelo Anthony being the aggressor. Remember, I've always said that we'll see what happens in trial. It looks really bad on Carmelo, but hey, maybe there's some bombshell information. Man, they're going to start breaking down that video that they showed in the courtroom, and it's looking real bad. But anyways, folks, we got a lot to get into today. The only thing that's bothering me so far, this seems like an open and shut case. If it wasn't for all the racists out there coming and trying to kill each other over this trial, in my opinion, it's an open and shut case. I just don't understand why you couldn't find a few black folks that weren't unbiased, or I should say who weren't biased, right? I don't know. But anyways, let's move forward. We got a lot of shit to talk about. Let's do it. All right, folks, you guys already know the drill. The judge was playing no games. They let nobody with a camera into the courtroom, so we got to do it the old-fashioned way. Shout out Sarah Fields and shout out all the reporters that have been out here on the ground floor, because there's a lot of things happening outside this court case as well that a lot of people probably wouldn't know if there weren't reporters. It is getting hectic. This is probably going to start a race war. I even saw in my comments, they're like, oh, well, you must be a young blood because, you know, the OJ trial was the same way. Listen, was that good? I feel like this has the potential to cause some problems. So let's start with the first statement here. I want to go through some witnesses. We have Sarah Fields posting. She says, next witness was Robert Starr, head track coach for Memorial High School, also in charge of strength and conditioning for the football team and assistant coach. He was the position coach for Austin and Hunter. He said that he knew Austin for a year and he has known Hunter for 2 years. What we're about to talk about here is we're going to understand pretty much how the school works. There is a lot of confusion about whether or not Carmelo Anthony should or shouldn't have been under Austin Metcalf's tent. They're going to break down exactly how things work and quote-unquote tent culture, how things work at track meets and schooling events. Typically, you stay separated because of your belongings, right? So number one, when Carmelo walked up to that tent, it was already kind of against the rules, right? This is no longer speculation. These are witness statements that are going to make a difference in this case. So let's check this out. Starr made it clear that track meet policy is the tent marks your spot. There are also about 4 coaches per 40 kids. Spots are designated by tent because coaches can't keep track of everyone, so the tent is very much like your bench. He mentioned proximity control multiple times, which meant keeping a coach per tent at all times. Tents have snacks, backpacks, and it's standard practice to make sure that they stay protected. Okay, obviously, right? Now, a lot of people were saying, well, it was pouring down rain. It was pouring down rain, so he had to go underneath that tent. I don't know if I really buy that, because it's like, okay, cool. I would probably do that. It's pouring down rain. I have to get underneath the tent, right? But when somebody confronts you and says, get away, and you know this is school policy, you're making the choice to stay. right? And that's fine. You want to be an asshole, you want to be this and that, that's cool. I mean, that's what we do in high school. We be dicks to one another. But what isn't cool and what isn't self-defense is when they tell you to move, you're already breaking the rules. They start getting rough with you, start pushing you. Maybe they even punched you. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? There's no reason for you to pull a knife out and stab them. You could just run back into the rain. What was the rain going to melt you? You were going to melt if you ran back out into the rain. All I'm saying is there were multiple options, and his only option was not to stab the person in self-defense. It's not self-defense in my opinion, right? So far, that's how I'm seeing it. You want to hate me for that opinion? Go ahead. But that so far on how this trial is going, it's seeming like we can't, I can't grasp for anything that's saying self-defense so far, but let's keep going. He stated that specifically for Frisco ISD, tents are meant for one team one team only, sorry. Because of the valuables kept under the tent, it is a big deal to keep everyone away from your tent. So it's not because he was black and they were assuming that he was stealing because he was black. I saw that a lot. Oh, they were being racist because he's black. No. You have hella shit per tent. Black, white, purple. We don't want you from that school over here. We just don't know what you're going to do, right? So we move forward. He also stated that you do not go to someone else's tent uninvited. He also stated that the policy is, quote unquote, weapons are not allowed of any shape or form or size. Most people would never assume that anyone would bring a weapon to a fucking track meet. Exactly. Another thing, people are all up in the comments. No, well, AG, you're wrong. No. He didn't bring a knife to school. He brought a cleat sharpener to a track meet. Therefore, it is accepted. Bullshit. There's no such thing as a cleat sharpener. Unless you just have one of those like sharpeners to where you just sharpen shit. There's no such thing as a cleat sharpener. And it was a school event. Call it school. A track meet is still school, brother. You don't bring knives to track meets. And if you do, and they catch you with it, what's going to happen? You're going to get in trouble. Let's move on. He also stated that students have to sign a code of conduct that agrees to this policy. He stated that Austin and Hunter were throwers. He stated that Memorial High School was the host school for the track meet that day, meaning they were in charge of everything, which meant an extra burden on the coaches. He knew that morning that he would be pulled into many directions. He specifically assigned his throwers, aka Austin and Hunter, to take leadership positions, which meant putting up the tent and moving equipment. He sent a text to Austin that morning, that said, I need you to step up and be a leader today. He also stated that there was no rain delay. He stated that it looked like it would rain, but the track was still running as usual. He was then asked what happened on April 2nd. So I really feel like this was the perfect storm for something to go wrong. If Karmelo never went underneath the tent, it would have been everything would have went normal. It's unfortunate, and he could have just done anything else. My whole thing, I always said if he felt the type of way, he should have just fought him. You know, there's nothing, ain't nothing wrong with throwing some fists and handling it that way. But it just, it was the perfect storm. You have Austin over here feeling like he has to look out for all the kids because his coach told him that. And you already know the coach-student relationship. He's amped up. Coach told me to lock it down today. Karmelo comes around. He says, yo, get the fuck out of here. He's already amped up, right? Perfect storm for disaster, bro. But let's move on. It says Robert Starr then stated that on April 2nd, the tent was missing a crock pot. He said that it was important that the students have the crock pot. He had to leave the stadium and get a crock pot for the coach. Why the fuck do they need a crock pot? From the coach in the parking lot. He was leaving the parking lot and was at the bottom part of the stadium around 10 a.m. when he saw the commotion and people were running from his tent. He dropped the crock pot and ran back to the tent. He said that when he came up to Austin, he was lying on the ground and his face was purple. He said he saw a large hole in Austin's chest. He began to cry on the stand. He said he could hear Hunter screaming, do something, coach, do something. He said Hunter pointed at Karmelo, who was walking on the track. He then looked at Karmelo, who was with a coach, and said, what did you do? He then threw his hat on the ground. He said after he asked Karmelo that question, Karmelo began to cry. Oh, fuck. So, again, There's no question whether he did it or not. It's whether or not he's going to get off on murder, manslaughter, or self-defense. Those are the three things. Those are the three outcomes I believe he'll get. Which one? I'm not sure, man. I think we're teetering between murder and manslaughter. Obviously, everybody wants him to get murder, but you never know. I'm saying I'm putting that out there right now. You never know. This might seem like an open and shut case to y'all, but we don't know how the jurors are going to see this yet. Let's move forward. He then went back to Austin. He said people were working furiously on Austin. He was told that he needed to help Hunter. He then grabbed Hunter and began to pray with him. He said that it was around this time that it began to rain very hard, and he knew that Austin was gone. And that was another misconception. And I'm not sure, like, I'm not in the courtroom, so it's hard for me to, like, really grasp the timeline. But a lot of people said Karmelo went under the tent because it was raining. Now this witness is saying it wasn't raining yet. Karmelo stabbed them. Later on, it began to rain. I wish I was really in that courtroom, to be honest, because all we have is recounts from reporters and people who are in the room. But let's keep going. He told the story about how before the track meet, he was upset with Austin for leaving early from the athletic events to go fishing. He kicked him off the track meet, but secretly claimed that he wasn't actually going to kick him off. He was just trying to teach him a lesson. He then brought him back on the team. He said that Austin said he wanted to support his team. So that morning of the track meet, he texted him, "Please be a leader." All right, so we're going to move forward, right? We're going to move forward, and I want to play you somebody's coverage about that day. And it's going to kind of it's going to line up with this witness statement about how it took place, right? I want to show you this real fast.
All of them said that they didn't even realize what had happened because it had happened so fast. I mean, including Austin Metcalf himself. They said when the stabbing happened, they said they looked to Austin and he was just stumbling back and he just, was doing, a motion like this. And then he pulled his shirt up and that's when they saw the gaping wound. But not one of them said they even saw a knife. So that was one thing, Chris. The biggest commonality between them all is that they all said Karmelo was the aggressor. They all said they were sitting under the tent and he walks up and just sits under there. Didn't say anything.
Now, there's two things you could say about that. Either all the kids are racist and they're trying to set up Carmelo Anthony, or you're getting the same story and it's starting to click that he actually was the aggressor, right? If where there's smoke, there's fire usually. You have multiple people saying the same story separately, and it's all coming back to say the same thing. You probably have something on your hands you want to look into. Cooked. I'm telling you, bro, it's over with. It's over with. I mean, he would be lucky to plead out to get 15 years for like manslaughter or something. He's facing his entire fucking life. He would be lucky to get that, and it's looking like he's not even going to get that. We will find out. Let's keep going.
The gaping wound, but not one of them said they even saw a knife. So that was one thing, Chris. The biggest commonality between them all is that they all said Karmelo was the aggressor. They all said they were sitting under the tent and he walks up and just sits under there. Didn't say anything really to anybody. One person said that he shook hands with another teenager there, but even when he did that, he just sat down and wasn't talking to anyone. Didn't ask, "Hey, can I sit here? Hey, what's going on?" And of course, they kept diving into the tent culture, at track meets where each tent is pretty much alluded to as a locker room for each team, and you wouldn't hang out in the opposing team's locker room.
I really wonder what was on his mind, bro. That's what really cried. Like, why did you go there and you sat down, right? You wanted to fight, huh? Did you want to fight or did you want to stab? I don't know. He did shake hands with another teammate, so maybe he knows that teammate. But I don't know. He doesn't say anything to anybody, and he just sits there. It's almost like I'm baiting somebody to come out. Like, all right, let me sit here and let's wait until they do something. I don't know, man. I really wish we were able to see this stuff for ourselves, but unfortunately, man, we just gotta go with the reporters in the courthouse. Shout them out.
Also said their coaches didn't really allow it. If the coaches saw somebody from the opposing team, like Karmelo was from Centennial High School, sitting under the Memorial High School tent, that just would not have been allowed. So all of them say, who was this kid? One described him as a random kid who just came down from the top of the bleachers, sat down. Questions started circulating like, "Who are you? What's your name? What are you doing here?" And that's eventually when they say, Austin Metcalf stood up because he was looked at as a leader of the team, looked at as a team captain. He was the captain on the football team as a linebacker, and a lot of, there's a lot of translation between football and track athletes. So they're all kind of one big family. And they say he stood up and all of them said that Austin started off calmly. Hey, man, what's going on? You shouldn't really be here. Just get off from under the tent. Not in any aggressive way. Everything was calm. And they said Karmelo was just like not responding, just saying no, or if you want me to move, you're going to have to make me move. Just, being real adamant about not leaving the tent. And so eventually they said Austin started getting a little frustrated. People, other people under the tent started getting frustrated. Others were chiming in. Some of the people on the witness stand, some of the students testified to that they were chiming in also. Like, what are you doing here, man? Like, and none of them said any cussing was going on. They asked specifically, were there any profanity, any cussing? They're like, not that I remember. So maybe it wasn't a nasty altercation, but just a frustrating one. And so the students did admit that Austin.
Yeah, it feels like he went there on some like he had his own shit happening in his mind, right? And they're just trying to figure it out, and he lashes out. Now, obviously, Austin put his hands on him, so you want to put your hands on somebody, expect them to hit you back. But I'm pretty sure, I mean, nobody saw him. Like, who expects somebody at school to have a knife, bro? 4 years of high school, okay, there's a few kids who brought knives to school and weapons to school, but whenever there was a fight or a scuffle or there was like a big commotion, it was always fighting, bro. Nobody's expecting a motherfucker to pull a knife out. Even if you have a knife on you, why would we do that? That's what doesn't make sense to me. Was this I have a knife on me right now. I take it every day to school, right? I'm not going to take my shit out when I get into an altercation and ruin my life. What is going on? What is going on? You throw the bag into the grass and you get busy. Try and make them bleed as soon as possible before the teachers come around. Like, that's...
Started getting a little heated. Karmelo started getting a little heated. But then they started talking about Carmelo's hand in the bag. And then all of them said that same thing that we've heard, Chris, the phrase, touch me and find out, touch me and you see what happens. And, they started talking about how here in Frisco, Texas, here in Collin County, this is, suburban, fantasy land. Like this, none of this happens out here. All of them were saying the same things, that they would not have expected someone to bring a knife to a track meet on school grounds. They have never heard of anything like that. They weren't expecting anything like that. I mean, imagine being 14, 15, 16, and you're not thinking about somebody having a knife in a book bag, to the point where they said, Austin looked at him and said, "Oh, you don't have anything in that bag," like calling his bluff, pretty much. He had his hand in the bag and said, "Oh, you don't have anything in there. We live in Frisco. You're not going to do anything." And they say that's when Austin walked up and, that's where the inconsistency comes in. Was it a hard push? Was it a one-handed push?
Yeah.
Whatever it happened, they say that's when the stabbing happened so fast. And another thing they all said, Chris, was that it was, it was a little bit of a commotion, but they all said they did not even expect a fight to happen. One girl testified, and she was at the tent next to it at Liberty High School, maybe 20, 30 feet away. She heard the argument going on, but she thought it was just boys being boys, and she went to go watch the 3,200 race. And by the time she walked down to the fence, Austin was stabbed.
All right, so I'm going to stop it right there. I do think that's the biggest thing that everybody's arguing. So we got to we've arrived to the point where prosecution saying, well, yeah, it was the unlawful use of force, and defense is saying, oh, he had to do that. If he had not done that, he would have been jumped and he would have been in fear for his life. Therefore, that was a useful use of force, right? But anyway, all that's been happening. They've been arguing. They've been going back and forth. Court's been happening. We have the sane reporters coming out and just dropping facts. But then we have some people outside. We got Jake Lang on one side, and we got a whole bunch of angry protesters on the other side. It's like, it really feels like a sporting event during the finals, but instead of just high-hearted spirits of fans, these people want to kill each other. And I think this is making everything worse, right? There is this one gentleman that came out, a registered ex-offender, SEX, offender who's claiming that he's seen the video now and he's going all over the news. He is going viral. Millions of views, claiming that he saw the video and he has a completely different timeline of events. And for some reason it's caught on and it's causing one narrative on the outside of the courtroom while something completely different is happening on the inside. And this is why I feel like it is worth it to have cameras in the courtroom. Obviously, this is my job, so I want cameras in every courtroom. But things like this would probably be avoided if everybody was able to see inside. Let's check this out. This guy, who apparently likes little boys. Let's check him out.
You seen the video on 2 hours. Was it clear enough or was it fuzzy or what?
No, it was clear. It was okay. It's clear enough to where you can see the actual individual raindrops come by the camera.
Okay.
That's how clear it is. You actually see them walking up. You see that Karmelo is already up.
Bro said it was clear enough to see the raindrops fall past the camera lens. What type of shit were we running? 4K iPhone camera on the side of the school? It's been officially released that this is some grainy ass video and it's dead ass probably not even that helpful. But no, you got Mr. SEX offender out here saying that shit clear as day, brother. Let me explain to y'all what I seen in there. Let's check it out.
You seen the video on 2 hours. Was it clear enough or was it fuzzy or what?
No, it was clear. It was okay. It's clear enough to where you can see the actual individual raindrops come by the camera.
Okay.
That's how clear it is. You actually see them walking up. You see that Karmelo is already up under there. He's under there minding his business.
Dodging the rain or?
Yeah, it was still raining. You know,
right.
I'm from Little Rock. So that day we were under a tornado watch.
Right.
And we were under thunderstorm warning. And we know we had already had some light rain then, and it started raining again. Then it was over with for the day. Okay. So that's kind of what happened on that day. But they were at a rain delay already. And so during that time when that happened, the twins, their two buddies, and a few other kids, because there was a few kids involved with them.
Mind you, it's been confirmed by the coaches that there was no rain delay.
They were all coming from the direction of the middle school, coming walking back up.
Right.
On the video, you can see those four that actually was involved, and maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with them, skipping up, trying to catch up behind. One veered off probably toward his way to go to the coach and kind of distract them a little bit. And then the other 4 came walking together. One went in front of them, went past.
Right.
The other 4 went and they surrounded Karmelo. You know, if you're Karmelo,
and they showed that on that video.
It's on the video.
Okay, come on.
You can see them walk.
I'm gonna say little
and
stuff.
I'll put it this way.
Okay.
They actually tell you when you're watching the video, pay attention to this corner right here, because if you look anywhere else, you might miss different things.
Okay.
So watch those 4. Here they're 4 right there.
Now there's another YouTuber that kind of pointed this out. My brother. You know, there's 2 points of time that you could have seen this video. From what I understand, was when they were letting individuals come and view it at the courthouse months ago, and right now, if you were in the courthouse. So you mean to tell me you being an sexual offender was able to go anywhere near some kids? That shit don't make sense to me. That shit don't make no damn sense to me. How are you anywhere around some kids, a high school of no, that's where it was. I think it was a viewing at the high school. So you would have to go to the high school, I believe. How did you do that? You just went undercover. You just said, you know what, listen, I know I'm on that registry, but I'm going to go for justice. I'm going to take a chance for justice. That's what you said, huh?
Coming up.
Right.
That's exactly what they say.
Okay.
And so you have no way to be confused that it's those 4.
Okay.
So they come up, they surround them, and this immediate moment of not even a few seconds of pause, then that's when they jump. And so
they actually did jump him.
Yeah, it wasn't just no touch. It wasn't just all that moment. Yeah, it was a push. It was all kind of things. But Austin pushed, Hunter hit, and then everybody swung. But at the same time,
So it was more than. So it was more than.
Shit. So Austin pushed, Hunter hit. Well, I very much want to see what Hunter says on the stand if he goes on it. I know I'm a bit behind. I'm about 18 hours behind, so I need to catch up with that. But I want to see what he has to say to all this. But you see what I'm saying, right? This is just it. All this is make believe to rile up one side of a fan base or one side of a belief group, right? You got the Carmelo Anthony squad, then you got the Jake Lang squad. They're both trying to rile each other up.
Twins that got some licks
All
on them.
4.
So it showed that in the video.
Yes, in the video. So again, you got Hunter and Austin standing in the middle.
Okay.
And you have the light bright boy here, and you have the darker boy here.
Okay.
Okay, that was pretty much it. Talking all that shit. Sorry. Talking all that shit, right? Doing all that shit. And check this out. Morris Dwayne Turner. I would never believe what the fuck you had to say, sir. You like to fiddle and diddle them young. You a diddler. You need to be in that jail with Diddy right now. You know what I mean? You need to be playing with all them freaky boys in jail. Is what you need to be doing. Shit is crazy. I don't even know how the fuck he got out. I guess people just really don't care about this type of shit. Like in terms of law enforcement, they don't give a fuck. So I guess it just is what it is. You get to fiddle and diddle and you get put on probation. Ain't that some shit? But anyways, we have that happening. We have this. We have that side. Just the nuts of the world, the extremists of the world, right? Someone who can never. The people who are too narrow to understand two sides of a story, right? We have his side, and now we have Jake Lang taking the place of Chud the Builder, saying that we're chimping out over here. Man, listen, it is chaos outside of that courtroom, bro. Y'all stay safe to the ones that are actually going out there in person. This shit could get ugly.
Don't stand on shit. Whatever you talking about, the motherfucking lie. And you motherfucking know it. I don't give a fuck. Whatever you talking about, the motherfucking lie. And you know it. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Chimping out, man. Low impulse control. This is the reason why Austin Metcalf is dead. Because this is a response that is told. This is a response they teach their young people to have.
Man, listen, the cops out. Man, listen, bro. The cops are out here doing their best, man. They're like, listen, guys, listen. Guys, listen. Jesus, man. Shit. You would think working the court would be an easy day. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying. So we have the Jake Langs, the fucking idiots of the world. We have the Turners, the pedos of the world. We have Minister Dominique Alexander, the idiots of the world, just coming out trying to cause chaos. Because listen, the more you can stir up some chaos, the more you could profit off of it. The more you have people blindly angry about some shit, the more you could profit off of them because they're stupid, they're angry, they're frustrated, and they're more likely to spend money on a cause that they're blindly following. You know what I mean?
This is the response that the mothers, the black mothers in this community does not teach its people to respect.
And to be honest, Jake Lang, he's doing his job. That's his job right there, to cause chaos and just to cause chaos. That is his job, and he makes a pretty penny off of it, I'm sure. I don't know how he lives with himself, but I'm sure he makes a pretty penny off of doing this. And it's so cringe, bro. It's so cringe. But yeah, you just can't let people like this on either side make you turn into a sheep, because then you lost and he won.
Respect personal boundaries. It does not teach people to talk with respect. And that's why Austin Metcalf said, because of your failure as black parents. Failures as black parents. Failures as black parents. Teaching
He's so performative.
Look at that boy. Look at that boy. Me and you, mutual combat. Me and you, mutual combat. What's up?
That's kind of funny. You see, so apparently in the state of Texas, two gentlemen could walk over to the grass or the concrete, however you're feeling, and they could squabble it out. Apparently, they could squabble it out, and the police won't really do anything about it. That's what I've heard. This man over here seems like he knows the laws of the land. You know what I'm saying? You notice how Jake Lang got quiet, huh? He started looking this way, saying, these people are so... He was looking at him at first, but then, these people are so ridiculous. You didn't hear the friendly fade request? Just asking for a friendly fade, bro. Nothing too crazy. I don't know. I think he might have got deaf when that started happening.
Look at that boy. Look at that boy. Me and you, mutual combat. Me and you.
You notice how the sheriff isn't stepping in saying, hey, we're not doing none of that, because the sheriff already know. Sheriff probably want to see this shit too. Sheriff probably want to see this shit too.
Mutual combat, what's up?
Now you got me stuck.
I don't know what happened. I wish they got the mutual combat. I would have posted that shit on my Patreon. You know what I'm saying? But listen, folks, y'all got to be careful out there, man. Don't let people like this divide us. You got to stay with the facts. And if you really stay with the facts, it's an open and shut case, man. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Karmelo's innocent? Do you think Karmelo's guilty? Do you think Austin Metcalf has something to do with this? Y'all hit me up, man. I'll see you guys real soon. Stay inside, stay safe. This trial's about to get ugly, man. Let's go.